In this video we will be creating a Azure virtual machine and we will try to connect to it. Okay, so this is my student based subscription in Azure. So this is the dashboard. So over here we have multiple services, and we can see what are my recent resources. So in recent resources I created a resource group in which I will be creating my virtual machine, and also I can navigate to multiple things, and I can see the tools Azure has for me. So let's go to create a resource. Like, since I want to create a virtual machine, I directly have it. So a basic description about virtual machine is given and few introductions are given. So let's create one. So when I click on create, it takes me to this form filling kind of section. So since my subscription is Azure for students, I will select this one. And for resource group, I already have a resource group, that is my resource group. And I want to use this virtual machine to run some git commands. So I'll just name it vm for git. And I'm keeping most of the things as default sections. Okay, and the size is also a standard size. And for authentication type I am using a password thing. um so the username I am saying um user 01. Okay, and you can keep any password. Okay, so okay, and over here by default we have SSH port. I also want HTTP 80. So these are all the basic configurations I did. So over here we have a basic section, then we have a disk section, then we have a networking section, management, advanced tags, and at the end we can just see what we did and we can create one. If you are new to Azure and you do not have much requirements, you can directly click over here to review and create. But I want few specifications, so I've moved to desk. In the OS disk type I want a standard HDD. Okay, and I'm using the default selection for encryption type. And for data disk, I'm just also going with the default one. Okay, let's move to networking. Then I have a default subnet, then I have a public IP. Okay, I'm fine with it. And then I guess we are good to go. If you have a heavy networking going on, then you can configure this load balancing section also. Then we will move to management. I do not want much diagnosis, but since I'm curious about how these things will go. So again we are good to go. Then we'll go to advanced. I do not have much things over here again. Then in the tags, you can just name your tags. Like, if you are using multiples of resources within a single Azure group, and if you want to create groups and arrange or organize them, you can apply tags. But I'm again good to go, so I'll go to review and create. Okay, so after going through all the validation past, Azure has decided to, charge me 6.9 per hour. Azure is a pay as you go model, so the more you will use, the more you will be charged for it. So these are all the review sections again. So I'm good to go with everything. So you can create now. So over here, Azure is creating a virtual machine for us. It will take some time. So over here we have a notification also that says that a deployment is going on in my resource group. Okay, so deployment is in progress. Okay, so over here we have a notification that says that uh, it is done. Your deployment is complete. Over here we have two options, like we can go to the resource or we can create another virtual machine. So let's go to the resource. Now over here you have your whole details about the virtual machine, like what is the disk it is using and what is the RAM, and we have a private IP address, then we have a public IP address. I will just copy this public IP address. Okay, so over here we have multiple options that we can restart it, we can stop it. Always stop the virtual machine if it is not in use. It will save you money. And over here you can see the monitoring, like how much CPU it is using, how much network bandwidth it is using, and we have capabilities. mm, then we have something called as recommendations. Then we also have tutorials, like how we can do multiple things with our virtual machine. Okay, so now we will connect to this virtual machine. We can connect to SSH, RDP, or this option. But over here, if you remember, we had created a username and password. So how you can connect to it is just open your putty configuration, and over here you can see like you have a public IP address. You just have to paste it over here, and like we can save this session. It's like let's open it, and it is asking us for the username and the password. You have to use the same username and the password you use while creating the virtual machine. So like okay, so now we are connected to the virtual machine. You can see user 01 is connected for VM for Git. So this is how we create a virtual machine and connect to it. I hope you learned and enjoyed this video, and that's it. That is how we create a virtual machine and connect to it in Microsoft Azure.